You have clicked on Beginner's F2L. Now I'm assuming because you're watching this, you're brand new to F2L. However, you don't necessarily have to be to learn anything from this. Now, the way I'm going to teach this is the way that I learned. I've never taught this before, so I hope that I'm going to do a good job. However, the way I learn is very simple to understand, so hopefully this will be just as easy. Now, what we're going to concentrate on is one case. We're going to learn how to do one case, and that is to set the cube up like this, where you've got the corner piece aligns just like the beginner's method to bring it down into here, but you've also already got the edge piece in its proper place to bring it with it when you do that. If you've seen what is F2L, the video before this one, then you have probably understood that concept a little bit. If you have just watched this one, please go to what is F2L and it'll be explained a little bit more on the concept of F2L. The reason we're only going to take a look at one case is because learning F2L is not so much just about learning how to position the pieces to bring them in as a pair, but it's also about how to maneuver them around the cube. For instance, for this case, now this is already in line, but if this piece was here, you would have to move it there, but you didn't want to disturb the corner, so you'd have to learn how to hide that. And in doing that, we're going to be talking about these other slots that may or may not be filled in already and how to use them. That is a very important key in F2L and learning how to move the pieces around so they can be lined up together. So now I'm going to do a basic scramble and we'll get right at it. Okay, there's a scramble. Now I'm just going to do the cross. Okay, so we've got the cross in. So now we're going to take a look at how to align pieces so we can insert them as F2L pairs. So right off the bat here, I see we have a corner piece. It is the blue, red, and white corner piece. So let's just align that with its center as if we would with the beginner's method. So we've got the blue aligned with the white out the side. Now the edge piece, the blue and red edge piece, which just happens to be here, needs to be in this position. So when we bring this piece to this piece to bring it in, it will bring this in with it. That is F2L. So in order to get this piece over there without bringing that piece with it, what we need to do is hide this, and we're going to use a slot. What a slot is this and this piece here. That's an F2L position. That's a slot. Now this is empty because it is not being used by an F2L pair. This is empty, and this is empty. And of course it's empty because we haven't put any in F2L pairs in yet. So we need to hide this corner piece because we want it to remain in this position, but we want to move this to the back. So in order to hide this, we just move it down. As you can see, we did misalign our cross now, but that's okay because when we bring this back, it'll fix our cross. And we can use this pair back here because this is not matched up yet. This is an empty slot. I want you to pay attention to this empty slot for a second. I'm going to demonstrate what happens to it if you use a slot that is full. So here's a slot. If we hide this, it brings the slot up. Then if we were to move the piece and go like that, it would take the slot out, it would take the pair out, and it would divide them up again, and that's what we don't want. But we can use it, so what we're going to do is hide it, hide the corner, bringing that slot up, and then we're going to move this to where it's supposed to be in the back. Now we can realign our cross and bring our corner back up. Now as you can see, this is in the proper position for the F2L match. So when you do your R, R prime, it brings it in. I want you to be aware that it is in the proper permutation. It might be orientated properly, meaning that it is in this part that it needs to be in. But the permutation, it can be either blue on top, red in the back, or it could be red on top and blue in the back. And the way that you can tell if your piece is permuted properly is because the front of your corner piece should match the top color of your back edge piece. If this was flipped the other way around, when we brought that in, it would be in backwards. I covered this a little bit in What is F2L, so if you've seen that, you already know what I'm talking about. So now that we've brought that back there, we can just insert that as usual. Let's take another example. Let's use this red, green, and white piece. Let's find the edge piece. Okay, the edge piece is here. It is already in its spot. Now, we actually have to bring that out of the spot because we can't just bring this and insert it because it'll just bring the edge out again. So, without using any advanced stuff, there are advanced methods that we could use sort of like that to bring it in, but we're not quite there yet. So what we're going to do is we have to make the green, because if we look at this and we align this corner with its center, the green and the green, we can see that this piece would have to be back here in order to bring it in with it. But it's not, it is here. And we know that the front is green, so that means the green side of this edge would have to be here on top. So if we bring the green up, that means that the green edge is on top now. However, we don't want them to be put together like this. So what we can do is we can move this to the side. Then when we move up our green edge, you can see that it is already matched up to make an F2L pair. So when we bring this up, we misalign our cross. So we have to get these out of the way and retaining the way these stay. So we can't get this out of the way by bringing this side in because we're just going to bring our corner in wrong. What we have to do is turn it away and use an empty side and bring that down. And as you can see, we did not disturb our pieces. Now we can bring this back like we were going to insert like the beginner's method and do our insertion, and it'll bring in the pair together. That is the basic concept of F2L. Now let's take a look at another pair. Here's our orange and green edge. Here's our orange and green and white corner piece. Now they are matched together if you just move them like this. However, that's not the case that we're trying to make. This is a little bit more advanced and we're just doing basic beginner method. So what we got to do is keep that where it is, and we need to get this up and out of this slot. So we can bring this up, we can get it out of the way. Now we have to go this way. We can't go this way because we still have to realign our cross, and we don't want to bring in our corner piece. Every time that we want to work with pieces, we need them to be in the top layer. So we have to actually turn it this way and bring this back down. Now, as you can see, the corner and the edge are in the top layer and we can now work with them. However, you cannot insert this corner piece with the white facing up. It needs to be either in the front or in the right side. Or if you looked at it this way, it would be in the front here or on the left side. So as you know from the beginner's method, what you can do to make that piece have the white on one of these sides is to put it over a slot where nothing is inside that slot that we can destroy. And you go R, U2, R, U prime. Now you can see that this is on the side. However, we did put in our edge piece. See, this is how you might get a little bit frustrated once in a while, because I'm saying to keep it in the top layer. However, now we've destructed what we've done, putting them in the top layer by putting one here again. But that is just a consequence of making this corner piece permuted correctly. So we're going to do what we did in the last case. We need to bring this up, because if this edge piece was in proper orientation and permutation with this corner piece, well, then it needs to be in this location with the green side of the edge right here, because it needs to match the front of the corner piece. It just so happens that it only requires one move. So we can bring that edge up, and now it is in line. However, we need to realign our cross. So we need to get those out of the way and put our cross back. these are still in proper orientation and permutation with each other. So when we bring it back and do our R, U, R prime, it brings in our F2L as a pair. Now this one just happens to be set up for us already. As you can see, the white is on the side. We are matched with our corner and our center pieces, and the front of this piece is orange, and our edge is back here, and the top is orange, so we know that this is permuted properly, and so is this, and we can just insert it regularly. Now we can go on to solve the top layer. Now I hope you understand the concept of pairing edges together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through it again one more time, a little bit faster, and hope that you can understand what I'm saying. So what we need to do is find a pair. So here I find a pair. Here's the orange and green edge and the orange and green and white corner. Now in order to use them and maneuver them correctly to insert as an F2L pair, we're going to have to put them in the top. So we bring them up, get them out of the way, and put this back to realign our cross. Now we need to separate them. So there's not a matched pair here. This is an empty slot, so we can hide the corner, get this edge out of the way, put the corner back. Now we need this corner to be in the side. The white has to be either here or here. So we just do our little algorithm from the beginner's method to do that. R, U, U, R prime, U. And as you can see, again, this has put the white on the side, but now we've put in the corner. That's okay, because we need the green of the edge piece to be up here. We've already seen this case. So we bring that up and we get it out of the way and put it down. Now we realign our corner piece again with its color, and the edge is permuted properly, and we can bring it in using that beginner's algorithm. Here we have the same concept again. Now we've got the white facing up on the red and blue piece, and here's the blue and red piece. So what we need to do is make this so the white is facing in the front or the side. Now we can't perform the algorithm here because, as you know, we have to have an empty slot. So we put it over an empty slot and we perform the algorithm, R, U, U, R prime. And as you can see, that has put it sideways. Now these are connected, and we do not want them to be connected. So let's take a look at where this edge needs to be. So the blue is in front of us, matched with its corner. And as you can see, we would need the blue part of the edge to be here, which means the red would be in the back. So this whole thing needs to be put there, but this corner needs to remain here. So what do? Well, we hide the corner. Now, if it was here, we wouldn't be able to do that because we would bring up one of the F2L pairs we've done and destroy our work. So what we need to do is move it so we can use a slot that is empty, and we hide the corner with that slot. We move this to where it needs to go and put this back. Now we can insert this as an F2L pair, just like that. Let's take a look at another example. So here's a good one that we haven't gone through yet. This green, red, and white corner is not in the top layer. This green and red edge, which matches with this corner, is also not in the top layer. So what we're going to have to do is we can either take them out one at a time and not care where they go in the top layer, or we can take one out and then we can take the other one out in relation to where this one comes out. And I know that sounds a little bit confusing, so I'm going to show you what I mean. Let's bring up the corner into the top layer. Now we don't want to bring it up this way, get it out of the way and realign across, because we don't want the white on top. You have to be careful on how you bring it out, because now we have to put it on the side and it's already more moves to do that. So we bring it out this way, get it out of the way and realign our cross. Now the white is on the side, and we don't have to figure out how to make it like this again if the white was on top. Sorry if that got a little bit confusing. So now we need to bring out the edge, and we need, if this was here, right, then the red and green edge must be here in order to bring it in with it, but it's not, it's here. And of course, because red is in front, we need the red edge to be here. So let's bring this piece right here over here, because we can replace it with this red edge right here. So if we bring that up, then you know that the red edge is in proper permutation with this corner. So now we need to realign our cross. And again, we can't just bring it this way because we'll put our corner in. So we need to go this way and use an empty side and realign our cross. Now we realign our corner piece, the red and the red center, and insert it as a pair. By now, I think that you should be getting the concept of this, but we're going to go through this last one just in case, because this is another case that we haven't run across yet. So here is the corner piece and the edge piece. As you can see, the corner piece is permuted properly, as in the white is on the side and the front color and the center color match. And the edge is also on top. So that is already done. The corner is permuted properly and the edge is also on top. But we need, if we were to look at it like this, we need the blue side of the edge to be over here. So we need this edge to be there, but we need to retain this corner right here. Well, how do we do that? Well, we need to hide the corner again. I'm sure you've guessed that. But we can't just go like this, because we're going to take out this F2L pair. And if we did that, now this is realigned, but of course our F2L pair is now destroyed. So we need an empty slot right here. So we can move an empty slot right here because we only have one left to use. Now when we hide that, bringing up the empty slot, push that into its proper permutation, bring this back. We haven't damaged any of our F2L or our cross, and we have put these two pieces in proper orientation and permutation to be inserted as a pair, just like this. Alright, thanks for watching my beginner's F2L. I hope that I have shed some light on the way that the pieces move around the cube in order to make them in proper orientation and permutation to be inserted as an F2L pair. That is only one case. There are so many other cases, but practicing that one case over and over and over again to be able to insert your pieces as a pair is a very, very good, useful thing to practice. Once you have become comfortable at matching pairs up in the way that I've shown here, and you've become pretty fast at it, then you should go ahead and learn more F2L pairing techniques. I've got a video at the F2L homepage called Advanced F2L. I do encourage you to watch that. It will teach you some other things about F2L that you probably did not know, and I hope that this demonstration was very useful to you. And now you can click anywhere on the screen and it will direct you back to the F2L homepage.